Good evening and a very warm welcome to the 750 Motor Club Sim Series One Day Cup. Today is a bit of a precursor to the second season of the 750 Motor Club Sim Series, which last year was supported by the likes of Moser Racing, Tequila, Upshift Store, and AE Racing. So we're going to be flexing up our muscles a little bit and dusting off the cobwebs from the sim rigs in anticipation of the second season of the Sim series, which is due to take place during the winter. But today it's all about just having a bit of fun with some of these drivers. And we're also going to be celebrating the first year of the 116 Sprint series. Is its first year as a point scoring championship in the 750 Motor Club by racing with BMW 1M Stage 3 machines here on the Silverstone International Circuit. So yes, the 1M, not quite the 116, but we are still very much reflecting the various formula of the 750 Motor Club in Assetto Corsa, which is the platform that the drivers will be racing on tonight. And we have fettled with the car ever so slightly to more reflect the performance of the BMW 116, which is going to be out in real life again very, very soon at Croft in just a few weeks' time on the 21st and 22nd of September. That, of course, the Sprint Series and the Trophy Endurance Series as well for a 90-minute race. But today's going to reflect more of the sprint side of things. We're going to have two 10-lap races, and the second one is going to be a top 12 reverse grid race. So there should be plenty of action out on the Silverstone International Circuit. If we look back to the 116 sprint event at Silverstone in real life this year, albeit on the national layout, it was Will Abraham who took both wins in the sprint series, but the drivers today and have a slightly different look. If you were with us for the first season of the 750 Motor Club Sim Series during the off-season, you remember that Trafford King was very much the man to beat. He was the one who went home with the Moser Racing R5 bundle that was up for grabs, the top prize that was available. But right at the end of the season, we saw his fellow Type R trophy racer in real life, Jake Hewlett, former champion of that series, join the grid and really start to give Trafford a run for his money. And actually, looking at the practice times at the moment, they are the top two, separated by less than 0.4 of a second. So perhaps we're going to see a bit of a two-horse race between those drivers, both of them racing in the 750 Motor Club in real life. Trafford currently racing in the Type R trophy. Jake Hewlett, former champion of that series, but we've got some familiar names from the winter series as well as some new names as well. Kieran Mogg, you might be familiar with him from the 750 Motor Club streams. He's getting behind the virtual wheel tonight as well. So we're very much looking forward. We're going to be going into qualifying very shortly. It'll be just a short, a 12-minute session, I believe, for setting the grid for race one. And then, as I mentioned, the race 2 grid will be the top 12 from race 1 reversed. We have, of course, plenty to look forward to tonight, as well as with the real 750 Motor Club action as well, with Brands Indy, our next event as well on the 24th of August, where we're going to have the bike sports out with the classic stock hatch championship, as well as the BMW car club racing, some single-seater action with the Formula V's. You can always guarantee some good action with them, and then the 7 type machinery as well, with the low cost and their biggest sibling, the Mazda 7s, out in force as well for will be a one-day event at Brands Indy, which is probably the best racing circuit in the UK, every corner and overtaking opportunity. So do be sure to tune into the 750 Motor Club online on the socials as well, and listen to the Brands Hatch radio to keep up with everything that's happening from the circuit there. And now we are into qualifying. So our first look at the cars out on track for this session. You see David Brown here making his way towards the Vale chicane. And we can see how wonderfully this Silverstone circuit is rendered in Assetto Corsa. A little bit of a twitch there for David Brown as he starts his first flying lap, running afoul of the track limits on the exit of Club, though. Slinging it into Abbey for the first time. Of course, wonderful thing about racing saloon cars is we can see when they are braking. So down into the village, and then we don't turn hard left at the loop. We take the little shortcut here into the right-hand side that takes us onto the hangar straight. You'll see plenty of drivers utilizing all the road on the exit there, but now on the run towards Stowe. Of course, this is one of the layouts that 750 Motor Club utilizes in real life, in addition to the national layout and the Grand Prix layout as well, which of course we'll see at the end of the year, particularly with the Burkett 6-hour relay. So out of Stowe and then back up towards the chicane once again. So first time posted is by Benny Shroom, which is a 1:14.7. That's a very rapid time straight out of the block. But is very quickly usurped by Jake Hewlett, who does a 14.5, so just over a quarter of a second quicker. David Brown, who are following, settling into 5th position. Well, make that 6th now as the times start to come in. Trafford King going 3rd fastest, just under 0.4 of a second behind Jake Hewlett, who is our provisional pole sitter. So it is two of the drivers we expected to see up at the front of the field, with Benny Shroom splitting them. You see, that was much wider that time from David Brown going on to the hangar straight, and we can ride on board with him now as he heads up towards Stowe. You can see the uphill rise there that isn't always evident from the off-track cameras. Perfectly running it over the curbing. Oh, a little deep into the Vale chicane there, unfortunately. That might cost him just a little bit of time, but we can see the standings at the head of the field. Big slide for David Brown going through Vale, and again running wide past the track limits. That puts him in 7th position, but we can see it's Jake Hewlett, Benny Shroom and Trafford King, the top 3. Jake Hewlett has lowered the benchmark. He's now gone half a second clear with a 1:14.244. That is a cracking time from the Type R Trophy champion. Slinging it back onto the hangar straight. So further down we have Rabbit in 4th position, and then Peter Forsyth, who, if memory serves me, was with us for the Sim Series during the off-season, as was Ben Cooper just behind him. They're separated by just a thousandth of a second at the moment. Finley T, I believe it's Finley Tidmarsh, going in to 5th position. He was another very rapid driver during the Sim Series as well. We have Andrew Cooper, who's with us as well. He's in 10th position. Kieran Mogg showing he's as versatile behind the wheel as he is on air, going 13th fastest as it stands. Jamie Peters-Ennis is 16th position. He was another driver who was with us for the Sim Series. Oh, that was very wide there for David Brown. Kicking up some dust there as well. And now our provisional pole sitter, Jake Hewlett, his advantage has been reduced slightly by Trafford King, the reigning Sim Series champion. 0.4 of a second now, just under, between the two Type R Trophy drivers. And we can see really on the limit of the grip as well. They're having to wrestle these cars around. As I say, they have been tinkered with ever so slightly to reflect more the performance of the BMW 116 rather than the 1M, as it is the real life car. The series that we have utilized in Assetto Corsa have been there to reflect the real world formula of the 750 Motor Club. So we had F1000 machinery, we had the Toyota MR2s as well, we had the Bike Sports, the Radical Championship as well, and we look forward to doing more of that during the 2024-25 off season as well. We had 6 different car track combinations for the Sim series, and I imagine it will be more of the same. Real prizes up for grabs as well. As we mentioned, Traffic King went home with a Moser Racing R5 bundle, wheel and pedals that he was presented at the 750 Motor Club awards ceremony in February as well. So coming up to 4 minutes left in the session. Still it is Jake Hewlett who is on provisional pole position ahead of Trafford King by just under 0.4 of a second. Benny Shroom still there in 3rd position ahead of Mad Chip on the 2nd row of the grid, followed by Rabbit and Finley T. Ben Cooper and Paul Forsyth. David Brown and Leon currently the top 10. Oh, that was a hop of the curb there from David Brown, wasn't it? Right up on 2 wheels. Yeah, marvellous stuff. Again, we're seeing super competitive times, because we have just over 2 seconds covering top 15 cars as it stands. Oh, Rabbit going up into 4th position there, getting himself into the 114s now. So that's put him on the 2nd row of the grid. And just under 3/4 of a second behind our provisional pole sitter, Jake Hewlett. It is a sole qualifying session, so why we're not able to see everybody's performance on track, sadly. We can see David Brown really wrestling with that car as he heads his way through the cutting and then onto the hangar straights. Another PB has come in from Trafford King, but still can't break that 0.3 of a second barrier between himself and Jake Hewlett, whose benchmark remains a 1:14.244. So just under 2 minutes left in the session, so we're coming up to what is probably going to be the penultimate lap now. It's David Brown really utilising that runoff area on the start-finish straight, the Hamilton straight, taking plenty of the curb through Abbey. So he looks to put in another lap, currently down in 10th position, 1.4 off the provisional pole time. As Mattel has pipped him to 9th position. And making his way up the gears, coming down the hang straight, the fastest point on the racetrack. Of course, one of the differences in the sim world will be he's clicking a paddle to do that downshift rather than physically having to take his hand off the wheel. Although he might have the gear stick attachment. I don't know specifically what David Brown's setup at home is, but one would assume that it is the flappy paddles. Although I know a number of drivers who would be dedicated to the realism. Oh, big swapper through Abbey there for David Brown. And he now comes to a halt because he's only got 8 seconds left on the clock. And that means it's the end of qualifying. And so it is Jake Hewlett, the Type R Trophy champion, who will be starting on pole position ahead of Trafford King. Now, these two had a very intense battle at Donington Park in the F1000s right at the end. It was Jake Hewlett's wildcard appearance in the 750 Motor Club Sim Series at the end of last season. And hopefully Jake will be returning for a full season and we can enjoy a full campaign of Hewlett and King battles with a few others in the mix. Benny Shroom there, only 0.2 of a second away from our reigning Sim Series champion on the second row of the grid. Rabbit joining them on the second row as well. So that is the grid set, and we will be going racing. And it will, even in the sim world, we are able to reflect the real world environment as well, because we're going to be having a formation lap as well, mirroring the green flag laps that you would get in real life as well. And so there will be, it's going to say 11 laps on the counter, but it's 10 of them that are racing. And so we will see them out there for 10 laps. Also setting the grid for race 2, don't forget, because that is a top 12 reverse grid race. And the question is, can Jake Hewlett fend off Trafford King for that amount of time? Can Trafford King mount a challenge on Jake Hewlett for that amount of time as well? We're going to see, because there could be some other contenders in there as well. Benny Shroom and Rabbit right in there as well. Mad Chip and Finley T. We're all very, very close as well. We had a 1/10 of a second between Ben Cooper, Leon and Mattel. As also Finley, Ben Cooper and Leon, should say. So it is definitely a very closely fought field. 1:14.244 was Jake Hewlett's pole time in the end, and 2 seconds covers the top 11 cars. So that is a great field, and we've even had to adjust the mod for Silverstone ever so slightly to pack in the number of cars that we were anticipating for tonight's event. We've got our own unique version of Silverstone out there, which, if anyone's interested, is currently registering a 36-degree track temperature at 25 ambient. Well, bearing in mind ambient temperatures normally taken in the shade, that could be a reflection of what today's weather has been like, because it has been very toasty around the UK of late. So wouldn't be surprised to see if in real life we do have track temperatures in excess of 40 degrees. But we're just getting ready for the start of race number 1 around this Silverstone International layout. And as I say, we are precursoring a little bit to the second season of the 750 Motor Club Sim Series, where we have to have more fantastic prizes on offer. There were Takiwa.com vouchers, there was sim racing gear, there was coaching sessions from GT3 drivers that were up for grabs last season. So hopefully a lot more of that on offer for season 2. And as I say, we are celebrating the 116 Sprint Championship's first year as a point-scoring championship. one of the newer series to the 750 Motor Club roster. We get a lot of crossover between the Sprint series and the trophy as well, as we have the green flag lap now underway. So Jake Hewlett is in that sort of silvery car with stripes down the side, and then the white car is Trafford King. And it will be a rolling start as well. And so there, the number 17 car, the sort of traditional BMW colours there for Jake Hewlett, with the M stripes down the side of the car. And just building up some tyre temperature, because this car has proven to be quite the handful on cold tyres. Seeing a lot of drivers erring caution in the Discord chats that we've had between the drivers. See Rabbit there as well on the second row of the grid, alongside Benny Shroom, who's got an annoyingly similar livery there to Trafford King. But he's in the number 20 car. And so as the cars round the final two corners at Club and Vale, we can have the 750 Motor Club Sim Series One Day Cup underway at Silverstone, and it is a perfect launch for Jake Hewlett, our pole sitter, who leads into Abbey for the first time of asking. Trafford King is in second, Benny Shroom in third. It is as you were for the top four, as we see Madchip and Ben Cooper going side by side behind them. But there is Benny Shroom trying to get underneath Trafford King. These two cars were very closely matched in qualifying. Benny Shroom a bit more of an unknown quantity, but we can see Jake Hewlett is having to go defensive as they make their way onto the hangar straight for the first time of asking. A couple of cars taking a little bit more than the ideal amount of runoff there, and it looks like we do have side by side for the lead of the races. Trafford King has gone through into the lead. It was not a good run onto the hangar straight at all for our pole sitter Jake Hewlett, because Benny Shroom is trying to come right round the outside of Stowe Corner as well, has a big wobble and isn't quite able to usurp the Type R Trophy champion, but does settle back into third place. So at the end of the first lap of racing, we do have Trafford King, the reigning Sim Series champion, leading the pole sitter Jake Hewlett and Benny Shroom, but not by much at all. Just half a second separates those three cars. And there isn't much at all to Rabbit and Madchip behind them. In fact, the whole field is looking very, very tight. As we head back down into Village, one of the biggest stops on the racetrack for the second time of asking at speed, and Jake Hewlett is wasting no time trying to get the lead back from Trafford King. Slightly further back, we have Jamie Peters-Ennis getting into a battle and just getting caught up with the cars alongside him. Oh, and contact behind him as well, as one of the cars has to take avoiding action. And now is it Trafford King trying to break the toe against Jake Hewlett, and Hewlett did have a look up the inside into Stowe Corner, but King has him covered very nicely going into there. And side by side for third position as well, as Rabbit has made his way past Benny Shroom, but now diving down the inside into the Vale chicane for the lead of the race from Jake Hewlett. The two Type R Trophy drivers putting on a great display in the early stages of this first race of the night, and Jake Hewlett retakes the lead at the end of lap 2. See, flashing the lights there, I think that was from Trafford King, which is classic racing driver. We're on board with the reigning Sim Series champion now. Look how much opposite lock he was applying going through Abbey there, chasing down the race leader, who is going slightly defensive into Village. And look at that, you can even see in the rear view mirror as well the battles happening behind them. Absolutely wonderful stuff And now Traffic King not quite as close to Jake Hewlett as he was certainly on the first lap of the race. In fact, Hewlett has already pulled 3/4 of a second in just a few corners there, and he's pulling away down the hangar straight. This could be the Type R Trophy champion trying to break away, get himself a nice gap to the battles behind him. And so actually Traffic King might have to think more about Benny Shroom and Rabbit behind him. This is where he got lunged last time around. He gets a pump from behind from Benny Shroom. Where has Traffic King gone? Oh, they're side by side. It's the banging doors going through the chicane. And Benny Shroom is the one who comes out worse in all of that because he's now got Rabbit on the inside for 3rd position. And this could be the number 2 car's way into the podium places. In fact, it is. Oh, but Benny Shroom coming back on the inside at Farm. But Rabbit will have the inside line into Village. It's great news for Traffic King, who's going to try and pull away while all this is happening behind him. Still, these 2 cars have got an overlap, and Benny Shroom having a big hop, skip, and jump over the curbing in his pursuit of 3rd position. Just behind them, we've got Mad Chip, we've got Ben Cooper, we've got Finley Tidmarsh right in the thick of the action as well. See a late defense there from Rabbit as Shroom tries to come back round the outside of Stowe Corner, really having to wrestle that car around the outside, but nowhere near making the move in the end. With Mad Chip just behind them, but he's got I think it's Finley Tidmarsh on his inside as well, going through the Vale chicane. They tick off another lap and head down the Hamilton straight. It's Mad Chip in 6th position, this number 45 car, so it's Ben Cooper in front of him and Finley Tidmarsh behind him, and Tidmarsh trying to get down the inside at Farm. Mad Chip's got the line. Oh, was that a little touch there, under braking as Finley T tried to get around the outside still. Oh, had to just back out of it there because I think Mad Chip was going to chop the nose of the number 45 machine there. See, this is very much the closest battle on track at the moment, say potentially for the podium battle. But still Rabbit there in 3rd position, so we keep our eyes on Mad Chip, who's lost ground to Ben Cooper while he was squabbling with Finley T there. You see slightly further back as well, it's David Brown in 10th position. He's got Adam Cooper in front of him, but he's also got Jamie Peters-Ennis on the inside going into the Vale chicane. Doesn't take that line down. He stands his ground on the right-hand swing through Club. He does come out ahead. And it is Harvey now challenging Jamie Peters-Ennis down the Hamilton straight and into Abbey once again. That's for 11th position. And we can see Harvey has actually got that move done. And so he's made his way into 11th, ahead of Jamie Peters-Ennis. Oh, no, Jamie Peters-Ennis getting the move back. So he retakes 11th place there on the way into Village. Back with the battle for 6th and 7th between Finley T and Mad Chip. Obviously David Brown now making a move on Andrew Cooper I should say. And right around the outside of Stowe. Oh, has he gone in just a bit too deep? He went very, very wide. He was wrestling with the car. And Andrew Cooper does well, I thought he was going to hang on to the place, but somehow David Brown's managed to keep alongside, get some momentum, and finds the line into the Vale chicane, and that is now 9th position for Brown. Got to try and cover off that undercut, though, from Cooper. Did so very nicely. And now there's some more of that track limits and sliding out of Club that we saw during qualifying. Oh, what a big swapper through Abbey. And so that's going to put Cooper right on the back of David Brown once again. And he was looking up the inside there, was Cooper. Didn't quite manage to find his way through. David Brown looking to consolidate that position now. It looked like Finley T and Mad Chip were just going side by side down the hanger straight for 6th position. And in fact, we can see them now on the exit of Stowe. So Finley T on the outside. So he's almost made contact there with Mad Chip in that battle for 6th position, but they are nose to tail. You see Chip just running slightly wider on the exit of Club. And looking towards the inside is Finley T. Has a big swapper. Wider than him, though, goes Mad Chip. Side by side through Farm. And this will give Finley T the inside line for Village. A hop of the curb. You see Mattel is right on the back of these two as well, but it does look like Finley T's got the place. No, not quite, because Mad Chip comes back and through the cutting, through the shortcut and back onto the hanger straight, but another up and under done by Finley T. They're going to go side by side again down the hanger straight. This is a great battle between these two drivers. And it's just going to be Mad Chip with a nose ahead when they get into Stowe, and in fact he is able to cut across the line, but he's run wide. He has run wide, and that allows Finley T to try and draw back. But again, they're sliding about all over the place. Imagine trying to get one of these cars around here as quick as possible on your own, let alone having to battle these guys in, around, and behind you. That's Mattel in that orange car behind. Spies an opportunity to potentially take advantage of both of them, as we see Jake Hewlett has just done the fastest lap of the race. The gap now 3.8 at the head of the field, but with 2 laps to go, all eyes are on this battle for 6th position. Now, can Mad Chip in that lime green car stay ahead of the silver and black Finley T? Or will Mattel in the orange car find his way through? Oh, there was a tag into the back of Mad Chip. Went Finley T there. That punted Chip off the circuit. Both of the chasing cars went through, and I would be surprised if there wasn't some sort of intervention. And now Mattel spies his opportunity. He's gained 1 free spot, and now he's trying to capitalize on Finley T's mistake there and make it 2 positions, as he has the inside line for Stowe Corner. And Mattel, who started the penultimate lap of the race in 8th position, now sees himself in 6th as he just gathers up the car on the exit of Stowe. Finley T is going to try to come back up the inside into Vale. Oh, very wide there went Mattel. Couldn't even see him on the screen. He has got the line through these last couple of corners. This could come right down to the wire. They're starting the final lap of the race now. Jake Hewlett is well clear and gone out of the head of the field. He's now 4 seconds ahead of Trafford King. Mattel goes into the final lap. Big swapper though, and that is going to allow Finley T. I mean, Mad Chip could still retake both these places if these two get a bit too argy-bargy. Wide there into Village from Mattel. He's going to be under big pressure coming down the hanger straight for the last time of asking. Dive up the inside by Finley. He doesn't quite get it done, and Mad Chip had to get on the anchors in the middle of the corner so that he didn't run into the back of his race-long sparring partner. All of this is inconsequential to Jake Hewlett, who has been unstoppable. Yes, he had a poor run onto the hanger straight on the first lap that allowed Trafford King through, but he made very short work of his old rival to clear him and take the lead and clear off down the road. And he takes victory in race number 1 of the 750 Motor Club Sim Series 1-day Cup at Silverstone. Trafford King in second. Rabbit will complete the podium. Who is going to be in 6th position? It's going to be a drag to the finish line between Mattel and Finley T. Finley's on the inside. He might just be able to make this work. There's going to be side by side across the line, and Finley T did just manage to do it by by just a few thousandths, I would have thought. My goodness, what an end to the race and their battle. So it's Rabbit completing the podium with Benny Shroom in 4th, Ben Cooper in 5th, Finley T getting 6th in the end, ahead of Mattel and Madchip. David Brown and Andrew Cooper completing the top 10 with Jamie Peters-Ennis in 11th, and then Harvey in 12th. Crucially, that is reverse grid pole for the second race of the night. And of course, Jake Hewlett will have to try and repeat that feat from 12th position. Certainly had the pace. And we saw Trafford King. He did put up a fight in the early stages of the race, but in the end, no real answer there for Jake Hewlett, which was interesting to see from the man who rather dominated the first season of the Sim series. Benny Shroom falling away from Rabbit in the end for the last spot on the podium. Of course, they will start on the 5th row of the grid together with Harvey and Jamie Peters-Ennis sharing the front row of the grid in the top 12 reverse grid race, which is to come. So it will be a quite a quick turnaround between the two races. But yeah, what a cracking fight we saw between Finley, Mattel, and Mad Chip. Hopefully, we get more of that in the second race. I mean, right down to the wire, side by side across the start-finish line. Plenty of good up and under classic racing, and that's what we come to expect from the 750 Motor Club, and not just in the more recent sim racing, but also in real life as well. And the camaraderie, I should say, and the respect between drivers is absolutely paramount. And I always hear stories in the paddock of drivers potentially needing a certain tool that they don't have, and all the other drivers chip in and lend a hand to their fellow racers. It's for the betterment of the for the championships. And of course, it is a vast array of Formula 750 Motor Club is able to run across stock hatch cars, single-seater machinery, home-brewed single-seater machinery as well, 7-type machine saloon car racing, and even an introduction to prototype racing as well with the Sports 1000s and the Bike Sports series, largely made up of radicals. Endurance racing as well, Club Enduro, proving to be one of the best pound-for-pound series in the country. 2 hours of racing for what other series might be charging for a lot more for a lot less. And that is the aim of the Sim series as well. It's to reflect not only the fantastic racing that we see in the 750 Motor Club in real life, but also the camaraderie and the variety of cars that we get to see out on track. As I mentioned, in the first season of the Sim series, we had 6 different car track combinations. For each race was a different car to really show off the variety of the formula afforded to the 750 Motor Club, the likes of the MR2 series and whatnot. Right, we do have the formation lap for the second race of the weekend underway, but according to my timing screen, It is Mad Chip who's been put at the front of the stage. Maybe that just needs to be updated slightly, because the tower on my left-hand side does say it is Harvey, who is starting on reverse grid pole position alongside Jamie Peterzenis and Andrew Cooper, with David Brown in fourth, Mad Chip and Mattel on the third row of the grid, then Finley T and Ben Cooper, Benny Shroom and Rabbit on the fifth row of the grid, Trafford King and Jake Hewlett on the sixth row of the grid. Jake Hewlett, as a result of winning the first race, starts from 12th in this reverse grid race. Well, there's plenty of action in the first encounter of the night. I can only expect it to multiply now that we've reversed the top 12 for another 10-lap race. Around this Silverstone International Circuit with the BMW 1M Stage 3 machine. So there is Jamie Peterzenis in the orange number 5 car that is starting on the front row of the grid. He was fighting with Harvey in the latter stages of that race. What will happen now that we've stuck them up at the front of the field and the reverse grid race is underway? And Harvey has got a good launch there, but so has Jamie Peterzenis. It looks like the latter will have the inside line going into Abbey for the first time of asking, and it is Jamie Peterzenis ahead, but Harvey, the reverse grid pole sitter, is coming back. Well, actually, he's more under pressure from behind, with Andrew Cooper trying to find his way through into second position, with Mad Chip pretty close behind as well. But there looked like a real scuffle in the middle of the pack as they made their way from Village through the shortcut. And it looks like Jake Hewlett hasn't had the best of starts. One car spearing off to driver's right down the hangar straight. But we have side by side for second position, with Mad Chip trying to take two places in one maneuver here by the looks of it. He did get one of them on Andrew Cooper and into third. I thought for a second he might have a crack at Harvey there as well. Cooper trying to regain the ground there on the inside into the Vale chicane, but is unable to do so. Benny Shroom and Mattel right behind them as well. Trafford King isn't far behind as well. He's gotten up into 8th position. Jake Hewlett hasn't had the best of starts. Our race 1 winner, only 11th at the end of the first racing lap. You see a big slide there for what looked like Rabbit. In fact, it was. As soon as I was done saying Jake Hewlett was only in 11th place, he's gotten up to 8th and ahead of Trafford King, who was, of course, his nearest rival from race 1. So maybe I should say negative things about Jake Hewlett more often, because he's obviously heard me. He's made up 3 places in just half a lap. Fantastic stuff from the Type R Trophy champion. And here we can see he's in 8th place. He's got his sights set on the cars in front of him, but this is Andrew Cooper in 3rd position, trying to hang on to, no, he has claimed the podium spot away from our reverse grid pole sitter. Still, it is Jamie Peterzenis who leads by a second to Mad Chip, with Andrew Cooper now in 3rd. Now, Benny Shroom is the next car in the queue, the white number 20 machine, to round up our pole sitter, and in fact he has done so, because Harvey went out wide, and it looks like Ben Cooper is going to try and find his way through, as does Jake Hewlett. So wow, one little mistake there from Harvey has just cost him 4 places in one straight. Astonishing stuff. That's just how tight the field is around here. And that's Cooper and Benny Shroom going side by side as Jake Hewlett tries to pounce on that. He's in 6th position. He's got the podium placed cars slap bang in front of him as well. But we're on board here with our race 1 winner. He's got Benny Shroom in his sights. So Shroom's gone to the inside line down the hangar straight ahead of Stowe on Ben Cooper. Now look at Jake Hewlett. He's planning here. I'm going to try and take both of them on the exit if I can. Well, he's going around the outside of Shroom. He can't quite get Cooper as well because he's in the middle of having his own moment in the middle of Stowe. And now can he get on the inside here? Both of them again. Cooper's on the inside. They were 3 wide at one point, I'm sure of it. And has Hewlett been able to come out on top of all of them? Well, no, not all of them can survive it. 3 into 1 did not quite go there. Hewlett did get through unscathed. And Finley T was the one who was able to pick up a couple of places there as well. So in the same way that Mad Chip was able to take, that Mattel was able to take advantage in the closing stages of the race, so too was Penny Shroom there. And Mad Chip has gotten into the lead of the race, by the way. He's dispatched of Jamie Peters-Ennis and leads by a second. So while we were watching Jake Hewlett come through the pack, Mad Chip has hit the front. There we can see that lime green car is at the head of the field. And Jake Hewlett now going for 3rd position on Andrew Cooper. He is absolutely carving his way through the field as it stands. We're not even halfway through this race yet, and Hewlett trying to go all the way around the outside of Stowe. That will, of course, afford him the inside line by the time they get to Vale, but he doesn't need it in the end. He's already cleared Cooper and can take the racing line. And he has run a little bit deep into the chicane, though, but I'm sure he won't be giving that too much thought. And so our race 1 winner is back up into the podium placings. Next up is Jamie Peters-Ennis. Hewlett doing the fastest lap of the race while going around the outside of Stowe of another car. Amazing stuff. He's only a second behind Jamie Peters-Ennis. This is Benny Shroom on the back of Leon for 5th position. And so Benny Shroom, who just missed out on the podium in race number 1, doing the old up and under there as Leon gets a little deep into Village, and that affords Benny Shroom a very clean line through the loop and into 5th position, with Paul Forsyth just behind them as well. And now to 2nd position with Jake Hewlett on the inside of Jamie Peters-Ennis going into Stowe. Now Peters-Ennis isn't going to take that line down as he fights on the exit of the corner as well. And so Hewlett will have to go the long way round of the Vale chicane if he wants to take this place. They rub panels. Of course, Andrew Cooper is still in this fight as well. He did just manage to draw a slight overlap there with our race 1 winner. But Hewlett is very much looking ahead than he is behind. And what happened to Peters-Ennis there? He got spun round by the looks of it. Whether he was pushed or he jumped, couldn't quite see from that angle. But it did look like that Peters-Ennis was just able to keep it out of the barriers on the right-hand side. And the long and the short of it is Jake Hewlett is into 2nd position, and he's got 5 seconds between himself and Mad Chip, and 5 laps. Well, 4.5 laps now to try and close down the gap. Hewlett has been the fastest car on track, but that might be a tall order for him as Paul Forsyth continues to look at the back of Leon's car in 5th position. He was looking at the side of it, going through the shortcut. And there we can see the recovered Jamie Peters-Ennis in the orange car just behind them as well. Trafford King in 8th position. His progress really stalled since the start of the race, given that he'd just broken into the top 8 when he was passed by Jake Hewlett. So again to the outside, Paul Forsyth. Has he been able to make that move stick around the outside? It looks like he has. He gets a punt from behind as well. It looks like Forsyth consolidating that move into 5th position. Right, 1:14.7 for Jake Hewlett. The gap down to 4 seconds. He was 0.8 of a second quicker than our race leader last time around, as Leon and Forsyth continue to do battle, with Leon retaking 5th position into Abbey. Running a very tight line into Village to make sure that Forsyth doesn't reclaim that place. Heading back out onto the Hangar Straight. See Leon, he knows where he wants to park his car already. Swings straight over to driver's right to make sure he has the tighter line for Stowe. Forsyth didn't actually look like he was able to draw alongside. He certainly was under braking. Wide, there goes Leon. And with a much better exit, Forsyth manages to go through, as does Trafford King as well. So the reigning Sim Series champion benefiting from a little mistake there from Leon, as he just got a little overly defensive into Stowe. Right, another fastest lap of the race set by Jake Hewlett. He's now just 2 seconds behind Mad Chip with 3 laps to go. I take back what I said. This is absolutely within reach for him as well. Last spot on the podium, very much up for grabs as well, with Benny Shroom only a couple of tenths of a second behind Andrew Cooper. That's Harvey, who started on pole position. Remember, he's down to 10th position and now skating off the road as well. I wonder how Benny Shroom is getting on, because he's alongside Andrew Cooper for the last spots on the podium, actually, and according to the timer screen, now ahead. As we see Leon and David Brown battling down the Hanger Straight. Oh, that's Rabbit in front of him. Sorry, they got the same livery. Rabbit and David Brown, but that's Rabbit, who was on the podium in race 1, up to 8th position now, ahead of Leon. 2 laps to go, and Jake Hewlett has pulled another 0.6 of a second out of our race leader Mad Chip, and is now within a second. I was over the timing line anyway of our race leader. Benny Shroom has a consolidated podium position as well. He's almost a second clear of Adam Cooper. Here is, or Andrew Cooper, I should say. Sorry, right here is the lead battle. A lap and a half remaining, and the gap now under 1 second for the first time. And Jake Hewlett, who started in 12th position, remember, in this reverse grid race, and it's not like he got his way through very quickly. For the first couple of laps, he was actually still in the same place, but he made up 4 positions in one maneuver at one point, and has been like a hot knife through butter throughout this field for the rest of the race. So it's going to come down to the final lap between Mad Chip, who took the lead away from Jamie Peters-Ennis earlier in the race, has been trying to consolidate his advantage, but we're on to the final lap of the race, and Mad Chip has got his mirrors full of Jake Hewlett, who we know has been the class of the field so far today. It's going to be a very tall order to keep him at bay for this final lap of the race, but he does go defensive into Village. He's got to try and not run too wide here. The exit onto the Hanger Straight is going to be absolutely crucial if he wants to keep Hewlett at bay, who has a think down the inside, but Chip saw it coming. Both run a little wider, utilising the full length of the circuit on the left-hand side. And so Chip's got the tighter line into Stowe. Jake Hewlett has got the toe, and he's drawn up alongside for the lead of the race. Only 1 braking zone remains after this one. They're rubbing panels as well. Somehow Mad Chip is defending this lead from Jake Hewlett. 1 braking zone remains. It's going to be a lunge up the inside, surely, from Jake Hewlett. He gets into the side of Mad Chip, who runs out wide. He's going to stand his ground on the inside, but Hewlett has managed to find himself the tighter line through these last couple of corners. They rub again. A big slide from both of them, but it is just going to be Jake Hewlett with a very controversial finish to the one-day cup here at Silverstone. But what a fantastic finish, with Jake Hewlett taking the victory on the road, from Mad Chip in second, and Benny Shroom completing the podium, with Andrew Cooper across the line in 4th place, ahead of Paul Forsyth. Trafford King only 6th in the end. Ben Cooper, Rabbit, Leon and David Brown completing our top 10. Wow, that was a fantastic finish to today's activities. and that has definitely whet the appetites for the 750 Motor Club Sim Racing Series to return during the traditional off season in the winter. And if it's half as entertaining as at the end of that race, well, we're in for a very hard fought campaign, and some well-deserved prizes for the drivers at the end of the season. Of course, do remember to follow the 750 Motor Club across the socials. We are now on TikTok. If that's your poison. And so you'll be able to keep up with the latest news, of course, across Facebook as well. And keep an eye on the website as well for more news about the Sim series and, of course, about the club in general. We are expecting announcements about the Sim series to be coming along very shortly. But certainly we have proven that the appetite is still very much there for the Sim series to continue into the second season. And there should be some great prizes on offer, as there were for the first season. Just waiting to hear from our double race winner, Jake Hewlett, who should be joining us shortly. In fact, yep, Jake is with me now. Well, Jake, what an end to that second race in particular. Can you talk us through that last lap?
Christ almighty, that was bumpy, wasn't it? That was bumpy.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, obviously saw that I was getting close and thought, oh, this might be on here. And I'd noticed that the gentleman who I was racing, I forget who it was, sorry, but he would always run deep into Stowe there. So I thought, I'll try the outside, and of course he showed me the door, which I expected. So I figured I'd have a look on the inside, but didn't quite expect him to come in so shallow, and was hoping he would leave space and just sort of go around the outside. And then, of course, we had a bit of contact, and there was a bit of backwards and forwards, and yeah, it was very hit and go, but exciting, of course.
It was incredible seeing your progress, because the first couple of laps for you were actually very steady. I saw you, I was looking down the timing order, and thought, well, you're only in 11th. I thought you'd be way further up the field. And then as soon as I got done saying that, you'd made up 4 positions. So how was the early stages of that race for you?
It was brilliant. It was chaotic, but in a good way. You know, there was people left, right, and center. I think we were 4 wide at multiple points, and yeah, no, it was just really exciting, to be honest. There was really good racecraft throughout, and really good I guess ethics from all the other drivers. So yeah, props to them, and anyone who I did have contact with, obviously apologies, but yeah, good close racing out there.
Of course, you joined us at the end of the first sim racing season for the 750 Motor Club. You've joined us tonight. Will you be joining us for season 2 of the sim series during the traditional off season?
Absolutely, yeah. I was unfortunate to have missed the other one, so obviously joined late and sort of come in as a guest for the F1000 round at Donington, where we obviously done quite well. And there's obviously a lot of really good drivers in the series, so I like being around people who can help push me on as well, and maybe I can help push them on too. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll be able to participate in all the rounds.
Yeah, because you've certainly been giving Trafford King quite a run for his money. Of course, he was the reigning champion. Some might say the dominant champion of last year. So can we expect those kind of battles between the pair of you if you manage to commit to a full season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think that me and Trafford get on really well. So, and we've got really good ethics on track. And I look forward to much more battles with him throughout the winter series. Fingers crossed.
Of course, both Type R trophy drivers as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's nice to see Trafford in there and going well. Of course, got a win out last time at Snetterton. I think his first one in the TRT. So you can see that he's pushing on, and I think he's pushed on even from the F1000s at Donington. So yeah, it's really nice to see, and I'm excited to see where he gets to. He's certainly pushing me, which is good.
All right. Well, that's what we like to hear. We like to hear about the competition, the spirit of competition that embodies the 750 Motor Club. Of course, the camaraderie between the drivers as well, and of course, epic racing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, gents. I appreciate you putting on a great show.
Cheers for joining us, Jake. Congratulations on a perfect day.
Cheers. I'll see you again soon, guys. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Well, fantastic stuff from the 750 Motor Club Sim Series 1 Day Cup. at Silverstone International. Be sure to keep an eye on the 750 Motor Club website and the socials for news about the continuation of the Sim Series into the 2024-25 off season. Until then, we will see you at Brands Hatch on the 24th of August for the next installment of the on-track action in real life here for the Sim Series. We'll see you in the winter.